Dude insulted my boyfriend, so I danced with him. Me and my boyfriend Jake were there for my cousin's birthday party, and they had this whole traditional dancing thing going on, which was actually pretty cool. So there's this one formal dance that everyone has to do, and Jake was being such a good sport about it, even though he literally learned the steps from YouTube the night before. Like, he's not a dancer at all, but he practiced for like 2 hours, because he knew I used to do competitive ballroom when I was in high school, and he didn't want to embarrass me or whatever. The dance actually went really well, and Jake was doing great, but then this one guy who was obviously taking himself way too seriously comes up to us afterward. This dude had the whole traditional outfit on and everything, and you could just tell he thought he was hot stuff. He looks at Jake and goes, "Maybe next time you should practice some steps beforehand instead of just winging it up there." I literally felt my blood boiling because first of all, Jake did practice, and second of all, he wasn't even that bad. Like, yeah, he's not gonna win any competitions, but he held his own and honestly looked cute trying so hard. But this guy just had this smug look on his face like he was doing us some kind of favor by pointing it out. So I put on my sweetest smile and asked if he wanted to dance with me since the next song was starting. His whole face lit up and he goes, "I would be delighted. It's so refreshing to finally dance with someone who actually knows what they're doing." The universe was totally on my side because the next dance was Tango Argentino, which is perfect for absolutely destroying someone's ego because you're super close and can talk the whole time. Plus, I actually knew what I was doing with tango since it was one of my strongest dances back in the day. We get into position and I immediately start with, "So how long have you been dancing?" He tells me 4 years and I'm like, "Oh really? You don't go very regularly though, right?" And he's all confused like, "No, I go at least once a week." So I just go, "Oh, I just thought people get busy with jobs and life and stuff. But yeah, you never know, I guess." Then I asked what his favorite dance was and he starts going, "Tango Argentino is nice, but I think my favorite is..." And I just cut him off like, "Oh no, of course this isn't your favorite. That's totally obvious, no worries." The look on his face was priceless. A few minutes later, I asked if he had a steady dance partner, and when he said no, I just went, "Yeah, that makes sense," in this really understanding voice like I was trying to be nice about pointing out something obvious. He asked why, and I just shrugged and said, "Just the way you dance." By this point, he was getting flustered but trying to play it cool. So I decided to really go for it and asked if he'd ever thought about trying other sports. He was like, "No, I really like dancing, why would I?" So I told him about how I love lifting weights, and my friend from dance class swears by yoga for cross-training. He actually perked up at that and was like, "Oh, that sounds cool, maybe I'll think about it, thanks." And I just smiled really big and said, "No problem. Maybe there's even some sport where you have natural talent." The whole dance was basically me just subtly roasting this guy while maintaining perfect technique and keeping this innocent, helpful tone. Like, every comment sounded supportive on the surface, but was actually pointing out that he wasn't as good as he thought he was. When the song ended, I thanked him for the dance, and he gave me this really sour thanks back. Then I patted his hand in this really condescending way and said, "You're so welcome, and don't worry about it, everyone learns at their own pace." Jake was standing there trying not to laugh, and the guy just walked away looking completely deflated.